So lately I've been thinking a lot about how us guitar players like to listen a lot with our eyes, which is kind of funny, seeing as they don't perceive sound. And I find that it's really, really easy where when we know that a guitar is a vintage guitar, or when we know that a guitar has XYZ pickup in it, or whatever it is, we kind of tend to associate more strongly with that. So what I wanted to try was shoot out blindly 3 of my guitars, to see if anyone in the comments can kind of get this correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to the 3 guitars here. But before we do, I'll tell you a little bit about the signal chain that we've got going on. So every guitar is going to be going through my HX Stomp. On my HX Stomp right now, I am running a Fender Deluxe reverb into a Fender Deluxe cabinet. I have the Helix calls it the 160 ribbon mic on it. And then I have a little bit of a spring reverb because the amp sims in a Helix don't have the reverb built into them. But so everything's just going to be clean. I'm not going to adjust the levels of the guitar. So if one track's louder than the others, that's just the way the guitar sounds. I'm not going to adjust the levels. I'm not going to change tones. I'm not even going to touch this. I'm going to put it back under my desk so that we maintain that legitimacy. So now, the 3 guitars that I'm going to be using today are going to be the Chapman ML3 Standard. This guitar is from 2017, the 2017 run, and it's the Standard, not the Pro series. This was my guitar when I got it as a graduation gift, graduating high school, and I used it for my first 2 years, I'd say, of university, so a lot of serious practice on this guy. The only thing that's different about this, I will add, is that I did put in some EMG-X pickups to get a little bit more of a compressed, jazzy sound, and the Chapman electronics that came with it started to go after being used very heavily over 2 years. So I used that as an opportunity to change everything out. So this is the only guitar in the shootout that has active pickups in it, so it'll be interesting to see whether you can hear that difference. But other than that, it's a mahogany-bodied T-style guitar with a maple neck and fingerboard. So this is one of the guitars in play. The other guitar, or sorry, there's 3 guitars. Another guitar will be my half Fender, half Squier Strat. This is a Squier Affinity body that I sanded down and repainted. There's a video about that on my channel if you want to hear more about this guitar. But it is a classic kind of Fender style. It's got an alder body, and it's got a roasted maple neck and fingerboard. As for pickups in this, nothing fancy. They're the stock pickups that came with the Squier Affinity Strat when it was bought in, I don't know, 2010, I want to say, 2011, somewhere around there. So yeah, that's just the Squier Strat. And then the other guitar in our shootout will be my beautiful pride and joy, the Kinnell JK Series Arch Top. Kinnell guitars are made by a wonderful man known as Mike Kinnell, based out of Vancouver, BC, in Canada, if you don't know where Vancouver, BC is. It is I call it a 3/4 hollow. I can't really show you. I'll put a photo in the video. There's 2 thin spruce posts running down the middle of this that let you mount the Tune-o-matic bridge. And also connect the back to the top so that you avoid feedback. But this is fairly standard fare arch top. It's got a really thick maple neck, ebony fingerboard. It has a spruce top with maple back and sides and some beautiful flame maple binding around it. The pickups in here are the Alnico 3 by Kent Armstrong, and then it's got an Alnico 5 in the bridge. Simple master volume and tone. And yeah, so this is guitar, well, this isn't guitar number 3, but this is a guitar that will be in the shootout. So those are our 3 guitars. Let's talk a little bit more about this before we get into the real test. So I'm only going to use the neck pickups of the guitars. I'm only going to use them volume and tone all the way up so that everything is just the guitar at 10. I'm not going to touch the amp, and I will give you 2 different playing samples where one will be single notes and one will be chords and kind of harmony playing. And the real goal behind this is to see whether we're hearing mostly with our ears or with our eyes, and to play a little fun game with ourselves. So without further ado, let's get started with a sound sample from guitar A. Alright, so there were our single note examples. Hang on to your ideas about what they may be, because here's going to be some chord examples of the three guitars. So alright, now you've heard the guitars with both single note lines and with chords, so please let me know in the comments what your guesses are. If you like what you're seeing, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to the channel. I'm really trying to grow here and I'd love to have you along for the ride. But with that said, let's get into the results. So guitar A, during all of these examples, was my Strat. My wonderful blue Strat. I've always been impressed actually with the kind of jazzy tones that I can pull out of this guitar, and I really think that the Squier Affinity pickups sound incredible, especially considering that you know, when I got this it was a $185 guitar, I think. So the fact that these pickups sound as good as they do is awesome. B was, drum roll, ta-da, the JK Archtop by Kinnell Guitars. This is my absolute favorite guitar that I've ever played. It's got a huge neck, it sounds great, it's just my favorite guitar in the world. I've always loved, since I got it, the sound that it has, and it's kind of actually mellowed out a little bit over the last 4 or so years, but absolutely incredible instrument. Love this guitar. And of course, if that was guitar B, we know that guitar C was the Chapman ML3 Traditional Standard from 2017. This guitar and I go back quite a ways. Again, like I said, I got it right before I went to university, so I spent many hours figuring out this thing called a jazz on this beast. Absolutely love this guitar. It does not get played that much anymore, but I'm curious to hear what you guys thought of this test, and what you guys thought about the tones of the guitars, because I was actually quite surprised with the sounds that I managed to pull out of some of them. And if I really didn't know what I was using, well, really, I mean, any guitar is the right guitar to be playing. So yeah, let me know what you thought. Again, if you could like and subscribe, it really helps me out more than you could know. If you'd like, you can book me for a guitar lesson through my website. I've got a link to that in the description. And other than that, I'll wish you guys a wonderful day, and I hope you get to have some fun playing the guitar, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks so much.